we're not focused so much on spectators. There's no 20,000 people going to show up for a race. But we do it for the competitors.
The level of competition, it just keeps getting keener. As fast as you think you're getting or the improvements you make, it seems like your competitors are there too, and there's this constant competition.
Sportsmanship, camaraderie, the level of competition in amateur racing right now is quite high.
At the regional level, there's just tons of cars that show up for the races, and the national races are pretty popular.
Yeah, it's a teamwork event. We're all nobody's doing this to make a ton of money. We're doing it for fun, and I'm always willing to help each other out. Most of the teams are like that.
Yeah. And they'd do the same thing for you.
Well, I think they would. I'm sure they would. Once you get into this sport for a while, you meet a lot of people and make a lot of friends and help each other out.
Yeah.
It's a chance for people to participate in something we don't often do, and it's teamwork. Other people are involved in the race, the crew. Refueling, driver changes, some strategies involved. And it's a different kind of a challenge, and it's fun because it is teamwork.
This 12-hour race it's pretty fun, you know. I mean, packed out there on the track, a lot of traffic, but I mean, it's a blast, you know, just everybody's just having a good time.
You'll see 4 or 5 teams at breakfast in the morning. Everybody's, hi, how you doing, you know. We're gonna beat you. I think it's ugly.
This is a significant race for us because we're all amateurs. These people all have real jobs and get together once a year, and this is what the result is. And amazingly enough, even though the car is 31 years old this year, we're still very competitive.
For a large part, you're looking at doctors and professional people who really like cars a lot. And as a matter of fact, have cars that they can only drive at 55 on the street, and it's ridiculous compared to what the car is. A 944 Turbo is a classic example. In a 12-hour race, something is likely to go wrong with the car. And the pit crew then is on station, comes in, has to make a fix, so that the whole team becomes a participant in the race, not just the driver.
I like Summit Point as a racetrack. It is a lot of fun.
Many people who come here for the first time are really intimidated by Summit Point because it's a very technical track.
The trickiest part about this track is handling turn 1 at the end of the 3/4 mile straightaway and handling 3 and 5 because they're tricky turns.
Starting at the start-finish line, you're going down into turn 1, and that's basically a second gear turn where you got to get the car broken down and gathered up for that 180 coming through there, and you're tracking out of 2. You head into 3, which is a fast left-hander, which if you know the track, you can sneak into a little early. Then the most intimidating part of the track, you go over the hill at 4 and drop down into what they call the chute, which is a winding downhill portion that comes into a hard braking zone at the bottom.
This is turn 5 behind me, turn 6 at the far end of the carousel, and then it swings around to turn 7. And cars coming down through here will try to accelerate through that corner, sometimes spinning, sometimes ending up in the infield, sometimes on the other side. If you look down here on the corner, you'll see the strip of concrete. That defines the best line through the corner.
The key is to get your car situated where you're coming through there and starting to gain speed, because at that point all the speed you gain exiting 6 through 7, 8, and 9 determine the speed you're going to carry actually down the front straightaway.
The biggest problem is when they come into 9 that they come from the inside out. This is one of the easier corners.
You go through 9 under the bridge, go through 10, and then every mile per hour that you can gain going in the exit of 10 is going to pay you off by 4 or 5 miles an hour at the end of the front straightaway and back into 1 again, and away you go.
If you can drive this track well, you're a good driver.
I have seen people leave the course and their favorite spots seem to be the tire walls.
over 12 hours. If you make a tenth of a second mistake on the momentum side of things, it adds up to quite a large amount. 12-hour race for the SCCA has long history going back to the 60s at an earlier track, Marlboro.
When I was growing up around here, that was a big SCCA track, and it was I know everybody hated to see it close.
SCCA DC region started out a few years ago with a 4-hour event, then it went to a 6-hour event and graduated to a 12-hour event. This is, I think, the 3rd year we've run the 12-hour, and it's grown into a big, big event. There's more cars that want to race, more people that want to race than we have room on the track for them.
SCCA group in Washington does a great job with the race. It was oversubscribed this year. They had to turn people away. It's the only race on the East Coast, except for the big races at Sebring and Daytona, of this kind of length.
Not a small race. It's not a regional, it's not a national, it's a production.
12 hours is a long time. And just to have everything go the way it needs to go is a big feat in the whole program.
Again, it's the participation. Finishing the race is an achievement. And I take a great deal of pride in participating and finishing a lot of these races. It's a challenge.
You know, it's a 12-hour race. It doesn't really matter where we qualify. We could start dead last as long as we, it's 12 hours. A lot will play out.
It's tough. It is very tough. Especially when you got fast cars like that. You want to try to go as fast as you can, but you want to conserve the car and the tires and fuel. I mean, there's so many variables.
We definitely showed up to look like the big fish in the little pond. I mean, it's still relatively a small effort, but with a pro team behind it, it gives you a little edge as far as with the pit strategy, coming in for pit stops. All the guys, they know what the function is. They've practiced it several times. I mean, these guys have been running the Grand Am Series for 2-3 years now, and pit stops are old hat to them, whereas some of the amateurs, they're not doing pit stops every weekend.
Well, I think we're just gonna go as fast as the car can, and we're probably gonna have to stop every hour and a half or so. So probably only make 1, maybe 2 tire changes. The tires hold up pretty good out here, and it gets pretty good gas mileage. So we'll just go out, have fun.
The thing here is a 12-hour race. You want a car that's going to start the race strong and it's going to finish the race strong. And this little Z3 will do that. You can push this car 10/10 the entire 12 hours, and it's going to finish up.
We're putting new tires on because we want to heat cycle them, and the rubber takes a set after it heats up to a certain temp, at which point the bonds in the rubber create a stronger bonding, and that makes the rubber last longer, the tire last longer, and that's going to be key in a 12-hour endurance race. Going by him, didn't you?
No, the Camaro kept trying to block me. The key in something like this is to be smooth and consistent.
For that last lap, that's all you got behind him.
In practice, we've established that we can run this car within less than a half a second a lap, lap after lap after lap, and everybody seems to have the capability to do that. So the key is going to be to stay out of everybody's way.
Huh? You guys will play some more, yeah?
When you're driving in one of these 12-hour races, you don't have the same driving pattern. You don't run the car the same for 12 hours as you're going to run it for 30 minutes. What we're trying to do is we're going to try and short shift the car. We're going to try and keep the engine as cool as possible, do everything we can to manage the heat and manage the friction, because if you're having to jam on the brakes, not only are you using up brake pads, but you're using up tires and you're using up all the other systems in the car.
Short shifted. Shift, you've got to be in third. See, if you do it there, that's the least point for the car to kick on you, okay? Right. So I'm going into here, across here, shifting right here, and then going right back into the throttle and taking the dead spot as my turn. So by the time I got the car straight ahead, the turbo's already in, and I'm heading up the track.
One of the things we had to watch there was the shift points, and that also determines the amount of heat in the engine and the brakes and everything else, which have a cumulative effect on the car during a 12-hour run like this.
My name's Harry Kinsey, and this is my car. This actually started out as a street car back in 1985 when I picked it up new from a dealer in Philly. A number of years ago, I just pretty much made it a race car and taken it off the street. The car from the factory is pretty much built to win, and it's a great street car, so I think it's just a lot less work to put into it to make it a drivable race car. We've done Summit Point in the 12 hours in '99 and 2001. And last year we actually did very well. We came in third in ITE, which is a top class. So I said, well, why don't we use my car and get Todd to drive and get Jeff Adams, a friend of mine at PCA Club, who pretty good 944 driver. So pretty much joined forces. Here we are.
Actually, I had been racing against Harry or with Harry for the last 6 or 7 years. And we have become friends over time, and then when he decided to do this, since I guess he hadn't seen me bust up my car too much, he thought maybe I was a candidate to drive his.
I started with go-karts at the age of like 9. Started doing that, and we ran all over the East Coast and all over the nation, and we started racing cars and kind of got into the endurance thing with Harry and a couple other guys.
The two elements, of course, in driving this race are going to be the drivers and the crew. From the driving side, you got to make sure that everybody understands their responsibilities and the fact that you can't win a race that you don't finish. So you may be able to go fast and get some hot laps in, but if the car's out, you don't win anyway. The second element of that is the crew. I mean, we're really lucky with the guys that we have because of their knowledge of the car and their ability to move quickly.
My name is Craig Rubinik. My job is to do brakes and tires on the right front of the car, check fluid, and any major problems, take care of it.
Hi, my name is George Hartman. I'm a left front tire changer, do brakes, major repairs on the car, anything breaks down. Me and Craig are the two guys that do the major repairs on the car when they need to be done. We got years in the Porsche business. That's what we do.
My name is Tim Sprinkle, and I am the crew chief.
My name is John Smith. Fuel up, switch tires, add fluids, check fluids, clean windshields, you name it, I'm a floater.
Hi, my name is Wes Green, and I'm the Jackmaster.
Hi, my name is Bill Deardorff. I'm in charge of taking care of the tires, tire pressures, temperatures, and so forth, and assisting the technicians.
Hi, I'm Charlie Lambert. I support the fueling crew.
My name is Marty Kinsey, and I man the fire extinguisher on the fuel stops.
Hi, my name is Brian Bard, and I do the fueling on the car.
Hi, I'm JT Long. I'm doing lap times and fuel mileage.
We're modifying the fuel system a little bit to try and prevent some spillage out of this one-way valve we've got on the back.
The dump cans take up the entire fuel filler, so you got to get the air out of the tank somehow. So what they did was they rigged up a vent with a one-way check valve in it to vent, and vented that out the back of the car, so that when you're fueling, the air goes out the back of the car through the vent. And what we noticed when we filled it up was it was leaking out of that hose, out of the vent hose.
We just raised that hose up higher in the system so that hopefully it'll just blip a little bit out the end and we should be okay. We'll find out.
Make laps. That's all we got to do. That's what we're going to do. First one will short stand a little bit, see how far we can go. They're going to measure the fuel, so just might be a little bit longer.
I'll try to let you know when I'm down around a little less than a quarter tank.
I'll be able to recalculate after the first stop. At the first stop, right? And see how close I am.
We need to measure
mileage.
again and see how much the cans take. One can we should empty. The second can we'll have to measure and see how much it takes, because it probably won't take the full can. So we want to be within 2 laps of running out of fuel.
7 times 21 divided by 2 is 73 laps times 90 seconds a lap divided by 60, almost 2 hours.
Yeah, if we can stretch this to 2 hours,
that would really be good.
That would be awesome.
Why don't we go an hour 50 minutes for the first stop, and then we'll see if we can stretch it to 2 hours.
You don't want to take a chance.
You want to be on the back
Takes a long
side
time to
and
push
run
the
out
car
again?
in from out there to get fuel.
That's fine. That's fine.
Those other guys are going to have to stop more.
I know. That's what I'm saying. I mean, that 993 Cup car and that BMW aren't going to last as long as we are. All right, let's do an hour 50 minutes.
One of the biggest problems of an amateur racing team, especially for a big race like this, is getting enough equipment, team, supplies, services to do it. Otherwise it becomes prohibitively expensive.
Depending on the series, the sponsors can be easier to get or harder to get.
Tires are the #1 expense, the #1 expendable item, especially in an endurance race.
This weekend I'm the motorsports manager for Kumo Tires, and this weekend we're providing track support for the racers for the 12-hour.
You know, it's not worth it so much for somebody to put sponsorship in a car if that company's customer base is not going to see that car run.
When a team comes to me and asks for sponsorship, we usually look at their past history as far as performance and how they present themselves.
We have a 2-car team, and we expect to use somewhere in the neighborhood of 25 to 30 tires throughout the weekend.
My goal was, if I ever was in a position to help the grassroots racer, that's what I would be doing.
You know, just one weekend of racing can be very, very expensive.
Guys, listen up. Thank you very much for helping out. This is an incredible time. We're taking a 17-year-old car, qualified 3rd overall, and it's all because of you guys' help.
So what's the first plan today? What's going on? Food.
Artery clogging special.
Charlie, remember that?
Huh?
My egg's over easy.
Yeah, I'll be real easy when I turn them.
We got a Toyota Celica. This is our first chance to run it. Definitely for us, not going to be a speed car. Should go a long way on fuel. So we're looking forward to just running a nice, easy pace, making the tires last, making the brakes last, spending as little time on the pit lane as we can. That's the way we're going to do well.
The night run, we got a couple laps out, fixed the fuel problem, and got the lights all set up and aimed for the night. And everything else is running good. That's why we're not going to go out. The car's running good. Everybody else is happy with the way they're working. So we're just going to wait for the race and go. Let her rip.
tell you, this race is a great equalizer. It's really exciting seeing all these classes of cars out here at one time. Any one of us can go for the overall win. We've got cars like Porsche 993s and BMW M3s, R944 Turbo, all running with spec Miatas to Ford Escorts and showroom stock Neons. I mean, sure, any one of us could take the overall win, but we're really out here competing for honors in our own individual class. 12 hours of non-stop racing is a great equalizer.
Guy gets out in the car, it's his first time out in the car, and he thinks he just has to jam on the gas and go as fast as he can and then jam on the brakes, and basically that doesn't gain anything for you. In 10 feet of late braking, you may pick up 1/100th of a second in your time per lap by staying in the gas a little longer and then jamming on the brakes a little harder. But 10 feet of early acceleration will make a 1/10 of a second difference in your lap time, which says it's 10 times more important to be smooth and get in the gas early on those exits than it is to go as long as you can and then jam on the brake. And those are the kind of things that just eat up a car in a 12-hour run.
Left rear. Somebody get a jack.
Holy vibration. Might be rubber build up on the rear tires a little bit. Feels like left rear.
Left rear. Figure out what's wrong with the car first, then fuel it. Huh? Fueling it after it's done working on that car.
35 in the pits. Just take it easy coming in the pits here. Coming in, coming in. And forward, Stan, here waiting for you.
Well, right now, we had a little trouble with the wheel nut in the back. We're hoping that, we understand that the BMW is smoking pretty hard, so he's one of our major competitors. I don't know if we can catch that other Porsche or not, but hopefully the BMW will have a problem with the smoke coming out of it all the time.
Bearing. Wheel bearing. Apparently what happened was the rear bearing nut came off. Which causes the wheel to get a little loose on the back, so I don't know if the wheel bearing's hurt at this point. I guess we're going to go back out and see what happens. It's kind of a shame to do this early in, but if we can recover from this, I think we'll be all right.
So basically the left rear wheel bearing, the nut that holds it in tight, came loose, okay? And it just backed off enough that there was too much play and the car would sway too much. So we brought it in, we decided to fuel it and tighten it down, get it real tight, make sure the wheel bearing was okay, and then send it back out on the road. But the hardest part was getting it back tight because it's so hot up there.
My name is Manny Matz. I'm riding with RC Racing. It's a Mercedes-Benz, as old as I am, a 1987 model. I've been racing for 27 years. I started very late in life, something I always wanted to do. It took me some years before I could get around to it, and it's been an obsession ever since.
Hey guys, I'm starting to poop out. You might want a fresher driver. 10-4, we're trying to hang in there as long as we can. The other four should just stop and see how long it stays with the fifth gear. The brakes are really getting pushy. Just relax a little bit, we'll be okay.
One of the things that we had coming here is we had looked at the time from the last 2 years and found that the winning time of the Ferrari the last 2 years, we could run those lap times in this car if we can run them consistently. And actually, in practice and everything, we proved that we could run that. So it was a matter of us being able to keep out of hitting other guys and keep the car together and not do anything dumb. And there's no reason the car can't run up front.
I'm beat. I never stayed out there for 2 hours. It's like a 2-hour stress test. The car was trying to do one of these, you know, so the rear end was trying to steer, and that's not a good sign. I wasn't gonna screw around, you know, nothing like going into a turn one, coming down from 130, you turn and the car goes off that way.
At speed, there's a lot of energy in these cars. Things can happen very quickly. So you have to be aware of what's around you, be aware of faster cars, and watch out for them and deal with them safely and predictably.
60 miles an hour is 88 feet per second. So they found that the average person is generally looking less than 100 feet in front of their own car on the street. So that says that they have 1 second to react to an issue at 60 miles an hour. We're doing about 137, 140 miles an hour at the end of this straightaway in this car. So the key is going to be able to anticipate how quick things are happening in front of you and how close you're closing on a car that's only doing 115 miles an hour.
Except I can't go much longer on these brakes. 10-4, you're about probably 4 or 5 laps away if you can hold on that long. Okay, but I'm gonna have to back off, I think. That's okay, back off a little bit. As long as we're out there running, that's all that matters. Brake pedal's going almost to the floor completely now. It's almost to the point now where it's dangerous. Behave yourself a little bit. We're getting set up here. Within the next couple laps, we'll get you in here. I want you to slow down a couple laps and see if the brakes come back. I thought I was slowing down. Oh no, you're still turning 29s and 30s.
Anytime we're in the pits, it's going to hurt. But it's going to hurt a lot more if, you know, we have no brakes and we crash. So. We had a little bit of brake problem. We solved that. We had to bleed the front brakes. We had a lot of air in the front brakes.
We think it's the front brakes are getting too hot, and the brake fluid's starting to boil, creating air in the system. And I think we're going to have to do it again because we still have brake problems. So hopefully we can solve that problem and see what happens.
And they'll release another standing sheet after 4 hours. So we're kind of in the dark for the next 10 minutes. We're 140 laps in. Just did our third pit stop. Still kind of confused about the fuel mileage. I'm getting numbers that are anywhere from 6 to 9. I'm not quite sure what's going on.
Put Todd in the car for the next stint, so see how maybe he can pick it up a little bit.
We're gonna try to make up some time, so I think we're gonna let him out there for his 2-hour stint. Usually I should have been in the car by now, but with our little problems, I think we need to make some time up, so we'll let him do his full stint again and leave him in the car.
Just spun the car in 7. 10-4, you okay? I don't know why. There's a lot of oil out there from what I understand.
Well, I think the brakes are getting too hot and it's vaporizing the fluid. And then the pedal becomes mushy and you have no brakes.
We'll have to find a high temperature hose in order to bleed the brakes, make them come back.
Brake problems. Still have brake problems.
And they're wishing for the sun.
You gotta find some kind of super hose that doesn't melt when you hook it on the bleeder. Calipers are like 300 degrees and it's melting every kind of hose we stick on the bleeder. So we gotta figure something out.
Well, we had a couple of pit stops that we really didn't need. So, you know, it's borderline. If everyone else has the same kind of problems, there's still a chance. We may end up second in class, or we may not finish. I don't know.
I don't know what happened. All I know is when I started tracking out of 5, started through 6, the back end kicked out. The next thing I knew, I was over in the grass and the people were hopping around in the tub up there. About 2/3 of it is without brakes, as you can hear with what's going on with the car right now. Can't figure it out, so you got to really back out of it and anticipate everything. It's going to be a long day if we got to keep driving a car like this.
problems with the car. I'm not sure why. Harry can't keep it running. He's back on the back side of the track around turn 8, and apparently it'll run for like 10 or 12 feet and then it'll shut off again.
Jeff, we're gonna try the DME relay. Maybe cut out.
Yeah.
I'm thinking DME relay, maybe the fuel pump.
Yeah.
I don't think that fuel's doing it.
Yeah.
I really don't.
Well, you should be able to do it quickly. With the DME, you should be able to go back and see whether the fuel pump's running or not.
Yeah. Check to see if the fuel pump's running, see if we got spark. Right. Go from there.
I think they're going to try to have it towed back, and we need to make sure the officials get it towed back here to the pits instead of getting it towed back to the paddock, which would take longer to get it back out to the track.
Can they come down here? You run up there? You run up there? Up there. Come on.
Chasing this venting problem in the fuel tank all day, and we're just gonna have to see when it gets here what the deal is.
Pull back. Pull back. Good. Look at that. Jack, stay. Never mind.
What do you want me to do?
Shut off, Harry.
Okay. What's going on? Help me in. Blew the hose off of the end of the intake. Okay, clear to go, clear to go. Goodbye.
Simple fix, just cost us some time. Nothing but a hose on the throttle housing. The hose goes from the intercooler up to the throttle housing. The hose came off the clampless plate. Maybe too much boost, man. Just boosting all day and it finally blew off. What can you say? Short delay. We're back on the track. 12 o'clock's our mark, boys. We're gonna make it. Red, buddy.
Hey, you're earning your keep this week, buddy. You're earning your keep today.
Oh, that's ours.
Very good long-distance drivers are able to maintain a sharp concentration level throughout. To maintain that level of concentration is difficult. There's no way that you can drive more than 3 hours.
Looks like they're going to send the ambulance out in a safety truck. The ambulance is a safety truck, so watch yourself out there.
You think it may have been a suspension failure, or it could have been a driver error. It's a very high-speed turn, yeah. Safety equipment in these cars is second to none. SCCA allows us the best, and we take advantage of the rules as much as we can. You can see where the roof collapsed and it actually scraped through the body of the car and contacted the rollover structure, but it stopped movement there. That keeps the driver in a safe, encapsulated environment. Also, the driver has 3-inch belts. He has 5-way belts which keep it securely in a specially designed racing seat. We also have fire assistance aboard to take care of that in case of that, but in this issue there was no worry about that at all.
At night, the track isn't lit. So the lighting is based on your car and the cars around you.
The difficulty is vision. You see a lot of lights off the front of the car lighting up. You'll think the lights are aimed in an odd direction, but they're really aimed around the corner to see where you're going to go, not where you're necessarily pointed.
This nighttime thing, what you get in is you get in a groove like this. You know the track, you can almost count. You pick up signs like the edge of the track, and when you see a certain stone that you saw there and you hope nobody moves it, because that's your turn-in point, because you're going to turn the car there towards the apex and you can't see it. Your headlights don't show it, your apex lights don't show you every apex. So it's a matter of knowing what you're doing.
We got an hour and a half to go. We're out on track. We got one more pit stop to make. No tires, just fuel. Todd's gonna get in your car the last hour and a half, and he gets out in the dark. He'll wick it up, man. He'll turn that thing on. Hope you can pick up a couple more places. We're gonna finish. Told you we would. You gotta stick with it. We're doing good.
Hopefully, Jeff will get a couple laps back, get us back on the board here a little higher, and we get right back up in there and finish as high as we can in the class.
Gonna be a short one, guys. All you're doing is fueling it up, check the fluids, and change the driver, and out she goes. Should be quick. 90 seconds, that's all we need to be in there, so hopefully that's all it takes.
Todd Springle's the best night driver I've seen. He goes all out. He goes all out.
He did last year and with a GTI VR6, and he was pushing the Ferrari around the track.
Go fast, we see the checker flag.
Okay.
You can't see. So everybody's running off, and there's dust all over the place. So it's bad enough to see. And if you have somebody behind you whose lights are in the mirrors, you gotta like duck down so you can see through the dust and see. It's interesting. You just gotta like, I say, okay, I know I turned here, maybe in 2 seconds I'll turn here again,
Last stop, buddy.
KIA, baby. Hour or nothing.
We're cruising.
Tell him to drive it like he stole it.
He will.
He will.
Yep.
last 15, 20 minutes always is the most exciting part.
We're running pretty good. Lap times are a little bit slower at night, but it's really hard to see out there where the turn-in points are, and it's a little bit difficult. So expect a couple seconds slower at night. Other than that, since the last pit stop, the car's been working really well, running well, and the brakes are holding out.
I'm the chief pit marshal for this event, and so we have all these workers spread along the road to monitor fuel stops, to direct cars, to take care of safety issues in the pit, and obviously we need to be a little bit visible.
Checkers are out, checkers are out. Good job, guys. 12 hours. Way to go, good drive.
Well, it's been a long day. It's been a good race. Yeah. It's been a safe race, and that's the important thing.
Oh, it's awesome. It's just wonderful. This whole car just held together. Without a team, you can't do it. I mean, it's everybody doing whatever they have to do to make it all work.
I think we did pretty well, all things considered, and the car ran all 12 hours basically. Brake problems, and got towed in the pits once, but other than that, we were running at the end, so we did okay. And 12 hours is a long time in a car.
Who would have thought it? Who would have thought we could keep the car together?
I don't know how many laps the Porsche did. He was on track to be really close to what the Ferrari did last year.
I think we're going to have to work on the brakes.
We learned that the way the car's laid out, that the turbo was heating the brake fluid in the master cylinder and boiling it, and it was just giving us no brakes in the car. It wasn't set up necessarily to run for 12 hours at full throttle.
We never used our brakes. The drivers were so good they didn't use brakes. Third in ITE.
Yeah.
Oh man, we could have had second. We were on the same lap as Himes.
Nah. Yeah, we were.
Let's go do another lap.
Get them back out.
But we could have been second.
Get them back out.
Well, that's 13th.
13th overall.
13th overall. Third in ITE.
And our final class for tonight, in Improved Touring E, coming in third, and on the same lap, why this one was settled by less than 30 seconds. Was this a 12-hour race? The Vision Porsche Audi Toyo Tire of Adams, Kinsey, and Sprinkle. Congratulations.
Hey, what can I say? We finished. Went through all the adversity, did everything we needed to do. We got the job done. We finished.
So much fun, we're just probably going to have to do it again next year.
Talk, Bart. Talk, buddy. You're on. You're on.
True, come on.
You're watching Speed Channel.